Okay.
I'd just like to thank you very much for volunteering for this trial.
Vaccine injuries are rare and mild until one happens to you or your loved one.
You cannot walk away from this film and still be questioning that this is true.
There's information that I didn't even know about, and I've been part of this movement for the last 4 years. It's incredible.
Follow the Silenced is really our way of giving the people a voice who were completely silenced for having dared share the fact that they were injured by the COVID vaccines.
My son, my beautiful boy, heard me say to my husband, just let me die. I just need to die.
We really worked diligently to create a film for everyone, no matter where you are in your belief system with this subject.
It's a story of the human spirit. It's that we can really love each other and reach across the aisle and find community.
So it feels really amazing to be able to give them a voice, let their stories be heard.
It's moving, it's hard, it's intense, it's informational, and it's inspirational.
The film was so eye-opening to me.
The pandemic of the unvaccinated was, in fact, a pandemic of vaccine injuries.
Well, this is the last documentary, Follow the Silenced. What is this film about?
Well, shortly after we released Plandemic 2, which was in 2020, I started to receive a lot of phone calls from people around the world that had been first in line to receive the COVID vaccine trials. And I was getting phone calls and emails from wives and fathers and husbands and family members asking for help because I was aligned and connected with a lot of the top doctors who knew the truth about COVID. And what everyone was saying was that their loved ones or themselves had been very harmed by the trials. And so we looked into and found out that these otherwise perfectly healthy people who did what they were told to do, which is to follow the science, and rushed in to be the first in line, only to suddenly have, heart attacks and strokes and seizures. And that's the danger of treating medicine as a one-size-fits-all thing. It's not. Every human body is different. We all have our own different comorbidities. We all have our own different allergies. And there's a lot of reason that every body should be treated and medicine should be specialized and customized. And in a mass rollout like this, that doesn't happen, particularly within the time span that this took place. And so a lot of us knew what was going to happen, and indeed it did happen. So basically, I was receiving calls from people saying, listen, I wish I would have listened to you in your movie. I was told it was conspiracy theory, but I didn't listen, or my wife didn't listen, or whatever. And now they're really in bad shape. And is there anything that you can do to help? And so after receiving enough of these phone calls, I decided that we needed to make a movie about this and follow these people's story, because one thing that, it's one thing to be harmed by medicine that's supposed to help you. And then it's another thing that when that happens, and then you go out in the world to let other people know, be careful, because I trusted the science and now I'm in a wheelchair. And then all of social media calls you crazy and shuts down all of your social media so you can't speak in the world. That's when things became really serious for me. And I thought, well, this is horrible. I can't imagine, that this is happening, particularly here in America, which we call the land of the free and the home of the brave. Where was the freedom and where was the bravery in that moment? And so we got a hold of all the people that have been damaged, and we started following them around. This is 4.5 years ago now. And so the film took just a little over 4 years to complete. It's a beautiful, epic documentary that is heartbreaking in many, many ways, because you see people from, children 15 years old to elderly people, all in really bad shape. And but you also, what you see is the beautiful spirit, the heart of humanity. Because when the medical industries turned their back on these people, they found each other. And they started their own groups, their own nonprofits. They started raising money for themselves, helping find treatments for each other. And they really became their own, task force, and to help themselves and others. And so they were just everyday people. The main person that we follow in this movie is Brianne Dresden, who was just a preschool teacher. And then now she's leading a movement called React 19, which you can tell from the title that was, what they had to do to, not only did they have a reaction to COVID-19, but they needed to react, they needed to do something. And so they've done a lot. They've raised a lot of money for people that their insurance companies turn their back on them, and the world turned their back on them. And so Follow the Silenced is, our way of giving these people a voice, and they deserve it.